One thing that I love about filmmaking is that it allows me to travel the world for work. But what I love even more is that it allows me to live virtually anywhere. And so in today's video, I would like to give you a few practical tips on how to find work as a nomad filmmaker. To give you a little bit of context, I started my filmmaking journey 6 years ago. In 2017, I bought my first mirrorless camera, and basically, since the day one, I was using it to move around the world. I started by exchanging photos and videos for accommodation and food in cheap hostels, and over the years, I got to a point where I am right now. Now, I definitely don't have it all figured out, and oftentimes it's not easy. But the longer I do it, the better I become at living nomadically, or that's what I feel. So what I can do for you is share my own experiences and propose some practical tips that worked for me, and maybe also propose a few alternative solutions that might work better for you. One simple tip I could give you right now is to focus on creating your best work. This is something I've been striving to do from the day one, and this approach will make sure that you keep moving forward. If you are a complete beginner, I would recommend you to watch this video right here, which I did a while ago, and it covers the basic approach to how to start traveling the world as a filmmaker. Today's video is a little more focused on filmmakers that already has some experience and are in the industry for maybe 3 to 5 years. Now, before we jump into the tips, let me find a little better place because it's getting really hot outside. So, if you're someone who already has an existing clientele, then I would first try to figure out a way how you can work with your clients while being on the road. Can you create content for your existing clients remotely, or can you pre-shoot the content prior to your leave and then focus on post-production and delivery while you're traveling? When working with your existing clients, monthly retainers are great because they allow you to have a stable cash flow while being on the road and at the same time providing value to your clientele. Closing a monthly retainer with an existing client might be much easier because they know how you work, and this gives you an advantage when proposing them a deal. Retainers are where most of my income have been coming from for the past 1.5 years, and I basically take care over the whole creative process for my clients, so from pre-production all the way to delivery. I would always try to only commit maybe 5 or 10 days per month to the retainers, which allows me to cover my monthly expenses, but it also gives me enough time to focus on my personal projects or getting hired for one-off projects by production companies. And that brings me to approach number 2. I've been really trying to focus more on getting hired for projects, whether that's documentaries, branded content, or commercials. And what I like about this approach is that it allows me to send over the files and then put my hands off of the project, which then gives me more time to focus on YouTube and building my personal brand. I'm currently at the point where there's enough of these projects to keep me going, but there are months where there's no work, and so I have to be a little wise with the spendings. The way I get these jobs is really through networking with other creatives and mostly producers and production companies. I try to find people with the same values and visions as me, connect with them, grab a coffee online or offline, and if we resonate, try to find ways to work together. Sometimes you might have to jump first on a passion project with them, or try to bring them on your own projects. I find that Instagram works the best for connecting with people, and you would be surprised how few people you actually need to be able to have a stable stream of work coming to you. Now, tip number 3. If you're more of a content creator, I would think about the location that you're traveling to and think about for who and for which brand this location can be attractive. An example could be you're moving to French Alps, and French Alps might be very attractive location-wise for American-based outdoor brands to create unique content. Because instead of sending a crew from US or hiring a local crew, you could be their solution to creating high-quality content from that location. Another example could be working with hotels and tourism boards. I actually have a lot of friends who does that, but I don't have so much experience with it apart from a few collaborations in exchange for accommodation and food. In order to make this content approach work, I think you have to be really good at pitching and you have to be willing to do a lot of research. Maybe you have to research 100 brands and then send email to all of them. Out of that 100, 5 to 10% might reply, and out of that, 2 or 3 you might actually close a deal with. And you have to be willing to actually create content for social media. My aim right now is to focus more on films and branded content films, and so this is not the path that I would choose at the moment. but it can definitely be very effective and very profitable. And at last but not least, tip number 4. Try to creating your own film projects and then pitching those to brands. This is something that I'm currently experimenting with, and I'll let you know how it goes in the future. But basically, you can come up with a branded content piece about an artist or an athlete, and then try to think about for what type of brand this story could be enticing. I know that this approach is a lot of work, but if you can team up with good producers, and once you can actually pull it off, it can be very profitable and also very enjoyable, because in the end, you're working on a passion project and you're getting paid for it. Now, no matter what type of approach you choose, I would try to think about what type of life you want to live. Once you have that vision, try to reverse engineer the way to get there. If you know you want to live nomadically for a few years, then I would focus on growing your network internationally and maybe building some sort of a social presence. And then if you just want to try it for a few months, maybe the content creation and pitching approach is the right way to go. For me, as you can see, a combination of a few of these works the best at the moment. But as I said, my main focus now is to go a little more into branded content, documentaries, and commercials, so I can spend the rest of the time focusing on YouTube and on my own personal projects. One last thing I would add is that it is possible to start traveling with virtually zero money, because I did that, but I definitely wouldn't recommend it. If you can save up to 3 to 6 months of your monthly expenses into your emergency fund, traveling will be much more enjoyable and you won't have so much stress with finding new work. If you will find work abroad, then I would also make sure to check on all the visa and proper permits so you're not working illegally, which could turn into some serious trouble in the future. And as I said, guys, I myself am on the journey just like you. My goal right now is to work and live in a few locations throughout the year and then be able to travel for work internationally. So for me, the right approach at this point is to grow my network, connect with producers, production companies, and also try to pitch my own projects. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, send me a message or comment on the YouTube video. And as always, I'll see you next Tuesday with the next video. Peace. Okay guys, before I wrap the video, look at the current setup. What a mess. Because I finished right now, I'm just gonna pack everything into this box and a suitcase, put it underneath the bed, and the room will be clean and organized.